That's how the faithful Catholic should look right now when looking across the Tiber to the eternal city and see what's happening to the church that we all love. It's devastating beyond words, which is why the traditional Catholic counter-revolution, friends, needs to begin on its knees, if you know what I mean, at this most awful realization that the shepherd has left us to the mercy of the wolves. We all need to stand up and defend the faith, absolutely, but not without tears in our eyes, not without terror in our hearts for what it means when we see evil progress as it has. And in conclusion tonight, let's recall the other big centenary that we're celebrating this year. It's more or less been eclipsed, probably rightfully so, by the Fatima centenary, but it's a very important anniversary. 100 years ago, I think next month, the Militia of the Immaculata was founded by St. Maximilian Kolbe in Rome.
917. Skupaj s 6 brati minoriti smo ustanovili vojsko brezmadežne. Cilj gibanja bo preprost. Po brezmadežni Mariji pridobiti ves svet in vse duše za Kristusa. To bo gibanje, ki na ljudi navdušuje za svetost v vsakdanjem življenju, da bi postali orodje v rokah brezmadežne, bojevniki v njeni vojski.
Who's sort of like the modern day patron, he and Pius X, patrons of the traditional Catholic movement. This Polish priest encouraged two things: total resistance to the evil at hand, and the consecration to the Blessed Virgin Mary of all of the soldiers in his militia. His militia of the Immaculata began with a personal act of consecration to Our Lady and the wearing of the miraculous medal as a sign of that consecration. And this was for, as St. Maximilian Kolbe put it, this was for, quote, the conversion of sinners, heretics, schismatics, and above all, the Masons, and for the sanctification of all persons under the sponsorship of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Immaculate Mediatrix. End quote. Now that part about Freemasons is very interesting. No single organization was criticized and condemned more often and by more popes than Freemasonry. And if you look at what's happened to the church, you look about the fact that the architect of the new Mass, Annibale Bugnini, was sent off to Iran by Pope Paul VI under suspicion of Freemasonry. You can see the signs of Freemasonry's triumph and success in the church. And Father Maximilian Kolbe, who no neo-Catholic out there is going to call him a rad trad, I hope, who should be dismissed, right? And yet his Immaculata, his militia, was set up because of the threat of Freemasonry. And he used his little printing presses and he worked day and night to oppose those forces of evil in the church. So Father Kolbe reminds us that our greatest advocate in this war against demons and Freemasons is she who crushed the head of the serpent. Beautiful faith. She crushed the head of the serpent. She is the terror of demons, the Tower of David, the Queen of the Most Holy Rosary, the refuge of sinners. So no matter how bad things get, and admittedly they're really, really bad right now, no matter how dark it is, this night is, or the next one, or no matter how fearful our children and our families and our communities are, or how discouraging it is, we have the most powerful protector in the history of the world. And we must not, we cannot lose sight of that, or lose faith in that. Yes, things are really, really bad right now, but in the end, the Immaculate Heart will triumph, the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And if we stay with her, so will we. And as it says on that miraculous medal that Father Kolbe insisted his militia wore around their necks, O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee. St. Maximilian Kolbe, pray for us. Pray for Pope Francis. I'm Michael Matt for the Remnant Underground, and we'll see you next week.
Cui pro nobis natur